So I am going to discuss about the medical surgical nursing 2 and unit 1 oncology nursing. In this we are going to discuss about the venous thromboembolism. Venous thromboembolism means there is a formation of blood clot in the blood vessel. There is a thrombolism means formation of blood clot in the blood vessel, and the association between malignancy and increased risk of thrombosis was observed by Trousseau. Trousseau means there is a inflammation of the vein and it can be observed by the formation of clot in the blood vessel. So by the inflammation of blood vessel we can observe the venous thromboembolism. So by inflammation of the blood vessel we can observe the venous thromboembolism, and there is a, if the patient having cancer, they are more prone to get the venous thromboembolism. And next, attribute to the various factors including hypercoagulable state. So there is some factors will be influencing the venous thromboembolism. In this first one is hypercoagulable state. In this hypercoagulable state, there is a abnormal increased tendency towards the blood clotting. So hypercoagulable state means the normal clotting timing is 2 to 8 minutes. So in this hypercoagulable state the clotting time has increased more than the normal. So it is called as hypercoagulable state. So the clotting time has increased more than the normal and the clotting time has taken for more time. If the patient have injury, the normal patient means the patient will have injury and the blood has come from the body and it takes 2 to 8 minutes for the clotting in normal patient. If the cancer patient means the clotting time has increased, so it is a hypercoagulable state. And next one is chemotherapy. Chemotherapy, who are undergone chemotherapy, they are having more chance to get the venous thromboembolism because of the some medications they are having some side effects. So it is the chances to get the venous thromboembolism. Next one is prolonged immobilization. Prolonged immobilization, there is a immobilization means decreased immobility, means decreased activity. Because of the decreased activity there is a formation of thrombus in the blood vessels. So for example, if you are taking bedridden patient, so bedridden patient he cannot walk and he does not have any movement, so he will continuously lying down on the bed, so he does not have any movement. Because of the decreased level of movement there is a formation of clot in the blood vessels. So there is the immobilized patients have more prone to get the venous thromboembolism, and it is one of the factor. And next one is indwelling central catheter. Indwelling central catheter means there is a catheter can be inserted into the large vein. So inserted into the large vein. The large veins can be located in the neck area or chest area and groin area. These are all the large veins can be consisted. So the central catheter can be inserted into the large vein. So because of the prolonged period the catheter can be present in the body. So because of this there is a clot formation in the blood vessels. So it is one of the factors for the venous thromboembolism. These are all the factors including these are the factors can cause the venous thromboembolism, includes the hypercoagulable state and the chemotherapy and prolonged immobilization and indwelling central catheter. So for a prolonged period if the catheter is present in the body and it can cause the embolism. And next we will discuss about the causes and risk factors. So what are the reasons and causes for the venous thromboembolism? So what are the reasons we can see? First one is hypercoagulable state in oncology patient. So hypercoagulable state means if the normal patient is clotting time is 2 to 8 minutes. In this, while comparing with the cancer patient will clotting time having, the cancer patient will have the clotting time more than the 2 to 8 minutes. It is a hypercoagulable state. So the clotting time will be increased abnormally. It can be caused by the abnormal blood composition with increased level of clotting factors. Because of the blood composition, blood consists of blood clotting factors can be increased in the blood. Because of these clotting factors, there is a abnormal clot of the blood can be occurs. So it is a hypercoagulable state. Oncology patient, in the cancer patient, there is a clotting time can be occur more than the normal. So it can be caused by the some of the clotting factors which are present in the blood. So because of the increased clotting factors in the blood, it can cause the hypercoagulable state. So next we will discuss about the patients undergoing chemotherapy have an increased risk of thrombosis. So they are undergoing chemotherapy because of the medications, they are having some side effects. So because of these side effects, there is a formation of blood clot in the veins. So because of this, thrombosis, there is a decreased blood supply and there is a patients undergoing chemotherapy have an increased risk of thrombosis. So because of the chemotherapy, there is a side effects, there is a formation of clot in the blood vessels. And next one is pancreatic and lung tumors, high rate of thromboembolism. So for example, if the patient having pancreatic tumors or lung tumors, they are prone to get the venous thromboembolism. There is a high chance to get the venous thromboembolism. These are all the causes and risk factors for the venous thromboembolism. Next one, we will discuss about the clinical manifestations. Clinical manifestations includes the first one is acute dyspnea. So dyspnea means it is a decreased breathing pattern. So decreased breathing pattern because of the there is a thrombus formation, there is a decreased blood supply to the decreased blood supply. Because of this, there is a dyspnea, breathing difficulty. And next one is pleuritic chest pain. Pleuritic chest pain, there is a chest become inflamed, and while breathing the patient will have the pain. So it is called as pleuritic chest pain. Pleuritic chest pain means there is a chest become inflamed and while breathing the patient will have the chest pain. So it is called as pleuritic chest pain. And next one is hemoptysis. Hemoptysis means there is a while coughing the patient will have the cough with blood. So while coughing the patient will have the blood with cough and it is called as hemoptysis. And next one is syncope. Syncope means there is a temporary loss of consciousness. Temporary loss of consciousness because of the low blood pressure. So because of the formation of the thrombus in the blood vessels, there is a decreased blood supply. So because of the decreased blood supply, there is a blood pressure can be decreased and the patient has undergone for the temporary loss of consciousness. So because of the decreased circulation, there is a decreased blood pressure, and because of the decreased blood pressure, there is a loss of temporary consciousness. And next one is tachycardia. There is a tachycardia, normal heart rate is 80 to 90 per minute, and in this tachycardia there is a increased level of heart rate. And next one is tachypnea. Tachypnea means there is a rapid breathing pattern. So normal breathing level is 18 to 20 per minute. If the more than this, it is called as tachypnea. So increased breathing pattern. Next one is hypotension. Hypotension, it is a normal blood pressure level is 120 by 80 mm of Hg, and hypotension, there is a decreased level of blood pressure. So the blood pressure has been decreased. It is called as hypotension. Next one is pleural effusion. Pleural effusion means there is a accumulation of fluid in the pleural space. There is a pleural space. The pleural space can be surrounds the lungs. So around the lungs there is a excess amount of fluid can be accumulated. It is called as pleural effusion. Pleural effusion means there is a accumulation of fluid in the pleural space. The pleural cavity can be surrounds the lungs. So the around the lungs the excess amount of fluid can be accumulated. It is called as pleural effusion. So these are all the clinical manifestations for the venous thromboembolism. First one is acute dyspnea. Dyspnea means decreased breathing pattern. So how it will occur means dyspnea because of the thrombus formation in the blood vessel. So there is a decreased blood circulation. If the blood circulation decrease, there is a decreased amount of oxygen in the blood. So the patient does not breathe properly. It is called as dyspnea. So next one is pleuritic chest pain. There is a chest become inflamed and the patient while breathing, the patient will have the chest pain. It is called as pleuritic chest pain. Next one is hemoptysis. The patient will have the cough with blood. It is called as hemoptysis. And syncope. Syncope, there is a temporary loss of consciousness, and because of this temporary loss of consciousness, there is a blood pressure can be decreased. Because of the low blood pressure, the patient has undergone unconscious for a temporary period. And next one is tachycardia. Tachycardia, there is a increased heart rate. Heart rate, normal heart rate level is 80 to 90 per minute. If more than this, it is called as tachycardia. And tachypnea means there is a increased breathing pattern. So normal breathing pattern is there is a 18 to 20 per minute. If more than this, it is called as tachypnea. Next one is hypotension. Normal BP level is 120 by 80 mm of Hg, and the hypotension means if the blood pressure become low, it is called as hypotension. And there is a pleural effusion. Pleural effusion means there is a accumulation of fluid in the pleural space and it surrounds the lungs. So the lungs can be surrounded by the excess amount of fluid. It is called as pleural effusion. And next we will discuss about the diagnostic evaluation. Diagnostic evaluation, first ECG, electrocardiography. So ECG we are used to know the cardiac function. So in this tachycardia, tachycardia means if the patient having high heart rate, increased heart rate, the patient having tachycardia or not, we can identify by the ECG. So there is a changes can be occurred in the electrodes. So there is a, if you are keeping electrodes on the skin means there is a changes occur in the ECG. So it is a tachycardia, we can identify by the ECG. Next one is chest X-ray. Chest X-ray, it can be done to know the pleural effusion. If the patient is having pleural effusion or not, we can identify by the chest X-ray. And dilated pulmonary artery. So pulmonary artery can be dilated. So because of the thrombus formation, there is a pulmonary artery can be dilated. It can be identified by the chest X-ray. Next one is ABG analysis. ABG analysis includes, ABG means arterial blood gas analysis. So it can be used to, the blood consists of oxygenator or carbon dioxide. So it can be used to know the oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in the blood. So in this ABG analysis we can identify the patient having hypoxemia. Hypoxemia means there is a decreased level of oxygen, and hypocarbia, decreased level of carbon dioxide. So in this ABG analysis we can identify the hypoxemia and hypocarbia. Hypoxia means decreased level of oxygen and hypocarbia means decreased level of carbon dioxide. So in this ABG analysis, ABG means arterial blood gas analysis. So ABG we can use it to know the oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in the blood. So we can identify the hypoxemia and hypocarbia in the blood by the ABG analysis. So these are all the diagnostic evaluation for the venous thromboembolism, ECG, chest X-ray and ABG analysis. And next one is management. In this management there is a low molecular weight of heparin. Low molecular weight of heparin. So heparin, it is an anticoagulant. We can administer the 1 mg milligrams per kg and to be administered subcutaneously. So it can be administered subcutaneously for every 12 hours. So every 12 hours the injection. So low molecular weight of heparin 1 mg per kg can be administered subcutaneously for every 12 hours. So for every 12 hours we can administer the heparin subcutaneously. The dosage is 1 mg per kg and it can be administered subcutaneously for every 12 hours. It is the management for the venous thromboembolism. So heparin is the anticoagulant. So it can reduce the thrombus formation in the blood vessels. So it is the management for the venous thromboembolism. Thank you.